Hi guys, so I welcome you all to day 32 of our anthropology lecture series. So let's get started. Today we are going to start with a new chapter, that is topic 2.4 in the syllabus, that is family. So I don't need to give you any introduction about what family is. Everybody knows what family is, right? But now we are not going to see the family as we see it in our daily lives, right? We are going to see it from a more academic perspective, from a more uh, point of view of a exam giving idea, right? So let's start, go on with it. So institution of marriage is universal. We had studied about this in our last lecture also, that institution of marriage is universal. So thereby marriage leads to family, and therefore family is universal, right? So this is like very mathematical, that we had studied marriage is universal, marriage leads to family, and if marriage is universal, that then it means family also has to be universal, right? So this debate of whether family is universal or not was triggered by Murdoch, because he believed that family is a very universal phenomena, and he said in family also nuclear family is the most universal, that is the basic unit of family, right? So this was then refuted by many other thinkers, because everybody, as we have said already also, that this world is so diverse, cultures are so diverse, so these institutions as it is are also very diverse. So different places you are going to see different experiences you are going to have about family, about culture, about religion, and that is going to frame a very different perspective of that thing in your mind, right? So based on that, there are alternative views also to family from what Murdoch believes. So let's get on with it and let's start with it, right? So first is obviously, I'm so sorry, yeah. So first is universality of family. So Murdoch's view. Now he believes family is universal, right? So what he says family is, basically family is a social group. Now I hope you guys know what social groups are. If you do not know, please go and watch those videos, come back to it. I'll post the links in the description box. Family is a social group characterized by common residence, economic cooperation, educational cooperation, and reproduction. So basically he has highlighted four major functions of what you can say a family does together. Is they reside at a common place, then there is economical cooperation, that means when father gets old, the son and the daughter takes on the responsibility of the parents, like that, economic cooperation. Then there is educational functions, that means the socialization, the inculcation of culture, religion, social things about society, that parents does, right, when the children are young, right? So that, and then there is reproduction, that means they procreate to make more families. That means if a couple is married, then they will procreate, they will have children, and then when they get old, they will marry and they will have children, and that is how the families go on. So this is what Murdoch believes family functions are. And then he says that adults of both sexes, at least two of whom maintain a socially approved sexual relationship, right, and one or more children adopted or owned. So that means, for example, this is a male, he is married to this female, now they can have children together, like this. Just imagine this is adopted child and this is a biological child. So that way a family is created. That means there are two people who are married, who are having a socially approved sexual relationship, and then they have children, and then they together carry out activities like economic cooperation, education, common residence, reproduction, right? And he further believes that nuclear family either is there as sole prevailing form of family, or it is a basic unit of a family. Now what is this? Just try to understand. We know that now what Murdoch is saying is basically, just imagine this. Okay, this doesn't look like a triangle at all. They are married and now they have a child, this. So they believe that either this is the sole kind of family that will be there, or they can be a part of a larger family, like a joint or extended family. They have children together, like they have two children. Okay, let me just do it like this. They have two children, this boy and this girl, and now this boy is further married to some woman and they have a child, right? So either a nuclear family can be a sole prevailing family in the society, or they can be a part of a larger group family that could be joint or extended families, right? So that is what Murdoch believes. And one more person is there, William Stephen. He has also given a definition of marriage, like he says family is a social contract. Now social contracts kya hote hain, we have talked about it in the society wala chapter. Please go watch that video, come back to it. What is a family? He's saying family is a social contract which is based on marriage, right? That means he says a family is a social contract based on marriage, which includes rights and duties of parenthood. That means what are your rights and obligations of being parents. Then there is a common residence for husband, wife and children, and there is a reciprocal economic obligation between husband and wife. So pretty much the same things, just depicted in a different way. They are saying basically family is a social contract. That means they are in a social contract with each other, and this social contract is based upon marriage. That means marriage is a social contract for family. Then they have like reciprocal economic obligations towards each other. They have a common residence along with their children, and they have rights and obligations for parenthood. That means in a family, for example, the father takes care of the children, their expenses, their school, all of that. The mother takes care of their food, their emotional things like that. Of course, ये मैंने बहुत ही very random bifurcation I've done, but just for your explanation, right? So this is what William Stephen says. So now we have seen two similar kind of ideas where they are talking about man and a woman, they are talking about economic relationship between them, they are talking about their children. So this is one kind of view, right? But there is an alternative view which was given by Kathleen Gog, and we had studied about Kathleen Gog. She studied the Nair families. They are matrilineal tribes basically. They are matrilineal tribes. They are martial tribes where the male are on the frontiers and females live in a Tharawad kind, which is a family unit there. That means the female lives with her sisters, brothers, their children, like that, right? So the husband does the tali tying ceremony and then he goes away, and but he's the father, you know, like if anybody has to be given fatherhood, it will be the person who does that, you know, it could be anybody who performs those rituals, right? So it doesn't matter. So in this case the husband is not living with the family, right? And family is based on mother, siblings and their children, right? So this is not the conventional idea of what William Stephen or maybe Murdoch was talking about, right? So how can we say that nuclear family which is basically a husband, a wife and their children? So this kind of family is clearly not prevalent in Nairs, right? So Kathleen Gog does not correspond कि Murdoch's family is the basic kind of family that is there in every society based on the study of Nair families, right? She says that they do not carry out primary socialization. That means it's not the parents who are inculcating the values of culture, the values of society in them. It's maybe the mother and her siblings, right? Then economic cooperation also, because husband is out on the frontier and there are visiting husbands and you do not know whose child it is, so they are not taking the responsibilities of the children. It is the mother and their siblings who are taking the responsibilities economically also. So hence she believes that she disagrees with Murdoch's view of family, and she says that it is not the conventional family structure that is prevalent in all societies. Hence she believes that that's not the thing, but she does believe that there is some kind of a family. That means whatever it is, whosoever is living, they are carrying out certain activities together, right? So uske liye family is definitely a universal phenomenon, but it is not the conventional Murdoch's view that she agrees with, right? So this is first thing. Then one more alternative view to Murdoch's family would be matrifocal families. In matrifocal families, the center of all activities are women, because either the males are not there or they are living separately, right? So what happens is, this kind of families are very prevalent in Central American Negroes. In Guatemala around 17%, 25% in El Salvador, and 20 as much as 29% black families in America, right? So this is what you see. Matrifocal family would be like, there's a mother single-handedly taking care of her children, right? So the reasons could be either there's poverty and economic inability to legitimize the marriage. Basically what happens is, sometimes if the husband is not able to pay the bride price, or if he is not able to economically take on the expenses of the children and legitimize the marriage, so then they do not marry, and the female on her own takes on the responsibilities, the obligations of the children. Hence this matrifocal families have come in, right? Then there is presence of polygyny in Negroes. That means one man having more than one wife, right? So he cannot live with all the wives together along with all the children, right? So in that cases also certain families become matrifocal. Then there is institution of slavery that used to be there in America, when slaves used to be taken from Africa and all over the place. In that case, what used to happen was that the males were made the slaves, and they were out in the fields or whatever way, and the females used to get into a sexual relationship with the masters, right? So in that case also a lot of matrifocal families had come in. So in today's scenario, when you see divorces are happening, a lot of divorces are taking place, right? So that is also ending up in matrifocal or patrifocal kind of families. Not only matrifocal, but you can mention patrifocal families also, because there are at least there are fathers who are also single-handedly taking care of their children, right? So this is also not the idea of Murdoch, because he believes that there is a man, there is a woman, they are in a sexual relationship, they are sharing economic responsibilities together. So definitely it is not the kind of family structure which Murdoch was talking about. Then kibbutz is another alternative view to Murdoch's family, because in kibbutz you can see this is a commune which they used to live in, and these are how the boys and girls together live in this community kind of a thing. Basically it's a community living. There the parents do not take care of the children. It's the commune where they live together, they grow up together, and the sort of community takes care of the children. The whatever the husband, wife, the couples earn, they give a part of it to the commune so that these children are taken care of. So there the concept of family is not as strong as the concept of a community, because together the children are raised up in a community, so community feeling is more strong. So that also, when Sapir studied, he believed that it is not the kind of society or family structure what Murdoch was talking about. But in today's time, you can see in Israel also, these community structures are getting disintegrated, and more permanent families are coming up, like the one Murdoch was talking about. Okay, so these were certain views where we studied about Murdoch, we studied about William Stephens' definition, then some alternative views by Kathleen Gog. We saw the example of kibbutz of Israel, patrilocal, matrilocal families, and you can talk about live-in relationships also, because live-in relationship today has somewhere taken marriage. It is an alternative to marriage. People are not marrying, people are living in live-in relationships. So some kind of that kind of family structure has also come in, right? So all these you can talk about. Now the functional aspect of family, हमने बात करा in Murdoch's view, it was economic cooperation, it was socialization, it was reproduction, and then it was educational idea, or you can say socialization aspect, right? So iska bhi counter argument is there. For example, sexual function not necessary to be performed within family, right? That is true. For having a sexual partner, you don't need to marry, right? And in many places we have seen, like in Newer's woman to woman marriage, in Nayyar's, sexual relationship is outside the marriage. In Nayyar's, for example, the husband is not the part of the family, and there are visiting husbands also, so they are not part of the family, and the sexual relationship is taking place outside the family. Similarly, in Newer's there is woman to woman marriage, that means there is no man and woman involved, right? Then there are economic functions, that means if this is a family, for example, just imagine this to be a family, they have one child who is married to this woman, and now they have 2 children. Let's make them both girls only. So now in this case they are too old to earn, and they are too young to earn. So in this case only the middle generation is earning. So in that also you can say how they are taking the economic cooperation together when only the middle generation is earning, right? Majority of the people are not earning, as you can see, right? So this is also a counter argument that it's not economic cooperation, because only a few members or the middle generation are the producers. And in many places we see there is welfare state, that means government takes care of the expenses, right? It's the government who will provide like shelter homes, old age homes, right? So kindergartens, these things have taken the place of family, because family का क्या है, आजकल old people are living in old age home, that means जो family का aspect था to be together, keep the your old ones also with you, but ऐसा नहीं होता आजकल के time पे. It's the government who pays the expenses. Like in kibbutz also, the children are not living with the family, they are not living with the parents, they are living in a community, right? So this also gives an alternative view कि whether these functions which we are talking about, be it the economic functions only, are they really performed by families as a unit? Then family only provides educative role. This everybody agrees that yes, socializing, inculcating culture, enculturation, these are the functions of family as a unit. This almost all people believe. And then you can talk about the live-in relationships. In that also there is no economic cooperation, there is no legitimized or what you can say socially approved sexual relationship. Many a times they do not have children, so that becomes an incomplete kind of a family structure. Then creche facilities where children are left and they take out the activities of socialization. The kindergartens, they have taken the place of grandparents in the life of children, where the parents go out but the kids used to be there with the grandparents, and then they used to inculcate those values in the children. But now today people are living in nuclear families, they are moving due to employment related migration is a lot. The wife is living in some other place, the males are living in some other place, and the children are living either in the boarding schools or there is very many times that grandparents are not the part of the family, right? Or they are moving and they cannot live with the family. So that place, kindergartens, creche facilities have taken on the roles of socialization. So this is the alternate view of functional aspect of family also. So if we have to sum up, Kathleen Gog, this universality only mother child bond was said by Kathleen Gog. She believes that if we have to say, it's not the family which is universal, it is the mother child bond which is universal. She believes that. And then it also you can conclude by saying that definition of marriage or family must be revisited. Not marriage guys, यहाँ पे family कर लेना कि definition of family must be revisited. Now why definition of family must be revisited? Because we have seen there are a lot of different kind of society family structures that are there in the society. For example, there are matrifocal families, patrifocal families, there are live-in relationships, then there are community living in like kibbutz of Israel. So all these are also somewhere family structures only. They are not conventional as in terms of the definition of Murdoch or William Stephen, but still they are there. They are part of the society, they are part of the family, they take out certain activities together. So we can say that definition of family should be broadened so as to inculcate or integrate these kind of unconventional families also to it, and then we can say ki yes, family structure hum uske bare mein we can give a good definition about it. So yeah guys, this is one of the most important questions that could be there in the paper from this chapter. So I took a lot of time to make you understand this. I hope you understood it. If you like it, please guys like, share and subscribe. You're not sharing the lectures. I feel very disheartened when I see the likes on the videos or the comments. Please guys do comment, give me your valuable feedbacks. I will be happy to answer you guys, and please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.